Hey folks, Green Stuff Gav here. This week we're doing something slightly unusual, and I've got a bit of a story to tell. So you might have seen Endungeoned, Mort from Endungeoned. I've done a couple of collaborations with, and often we comment on each other's videos. He's a fairly local YouTuber, and he runs an RPG called Mortis Quest, which is a semi-RPG, semi-hero quest system that he's been writing and playing with a group of people for the last decade or so. And I went to a couple of sessions and had a really good time. And so I thought I'd do something for the group. Now they've started starting every adventure in a tavern, and using that as like every adventure ends in a tavern, every adventure starts in a tavern. So with the miracle that is 3D printing these days, and a friend of mine called Mitchell, who I will link below, has just started a commission 3D FDM printing service. So I thought, what would be really nice? We have a tavern. This is a monumental build. So Mitch is learning how to use his new FDM printer and a lot of settings. So he did this to me exceptionally cheap because he wanted to learn how it works. This is just a random 3D file I pulled off My Mini Factory. It might have been My Mini Factory or Thingiverse. I'll put a link to that as well. We've got foundation, the actual tavern itself, and a huge roof section in different plastics because Mitch has been testing them out. Now, I've done resin 3D printing, and obviously we get the 3D prints every month. So this is my first interaction with FDM and plastic. And yeah, they are proper solid. Now, Mitch was really good, and he's already told us there's a couple of miscasts. So we can see just a slight curve here. If I get a rule, we can see we've got a slight bit of warping there. But that's not the end of the world. That's just a touch of putty to clean. The locating nubs didn't print very well either. And again, we've got some more miscast there. But to be fair, I'm going to be gluing the foundation, the main building to the foundation, and then I'll be popping magnets in for the roof. But no, this is really, really cool. So we'll see, we've got doorways. These windows come out really nice. There's an issue with the doors, and we'll go through them in a minute. Like I say, we've got a little bit of miscast here, but again, that'll be a bit of putty work because we'll be gluing it to the base. So it's not going to be the end of the world to fix. Lovely wide doorway. Right, nice little fireplace. Bit of a repeating pattern there, but that's the STL. Now, I presume this is like a vestibule and this is your bar area. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have everything loose. So I'm going to fix the bar here. This can be like a little storage room, like a back door entrance for the staff. I'm going to put a bar here. And then I'm going to have loose tables and chairs. So because every adventure is different and ends in a different pub, although the outside will look the same, Mort can rearrange the interiors to be whatever he required. Now the doors were actually printed in place, but the locating nubs on them have snapped, so the doors don't actually close. You can see we got this tiny little thing. So this was actually 3D printed in place, in situ, so they weren't supposed to come out. So I don't know if I'll just put a magnet in there, or if if I'm gonna try and fix the pin. Thing is, if I fix the pin, then the doors themselves will just flop about. So I'm thinking of actually putting a magnet in. Put 2 magnets on each door, so then they can just be pulled out. But again, that's a design fault rather than the printing itself. So we can see here. You can see why they designed it that way, so you wouldn't have to. So the door effectively would be forever in place. But I actually think a pin might be better. I might run a pin right through the top into the door, and it'll still swing. I'll give that some thought. I don't know on that. I've got to glue this bit down anyway, and then yeah, do a little bit tidy up, a little bit of repair, because obviously the locating pegs are missing. You can see there's a gap there. No, that's a lovely piece, and it's only really for an introduction to each campaign. So yeah, I'm going to make get some tables made, some chairs, so we can have different patrons and they could be magnetized in to be swapped out. And the roof itself. So Mitch was also trying different filaments. Now, I don't know this first thing about 3D printing plastic, so by all account it's a big reel that obviously prints, so he's been trying different ones. Now we've got a little bit of a slippage here, but that's going to be easy to fix. Look at this chimney. The chimney's come out lovely. And that's a big old single piece plastic. I'm thinking using that as storage. Maybe if all the tables and that could be stored in the roof, so that when it sits on a shelf you can just see the pub at the tavern. And another thing I'd like to do, it will have to be on the roof section, is I'm going to run put some magnets in these pieces, I think, and then have magnetized sign, so that it'd be easy to make a little sign for each pub and have different names. Yeah, so that's a quick look at the print itself. Let's go, and I'm going to consider the signs and doing the repair work. Like I say, I've got this proper cheap, so ain't too concerned about having to do some work, because the STL file itself was free as well, so it hasn't actually cost me much at all. Like I say, Mitch has been trying out FDM printing, so yeah, we'll come back in a minute when I've got some tidy up done and we'll continue. Now I've been looking at these doors, because as we said, they should have pegs in, but they should be cast in not to come out. So, however, looking at them closely, there's these really small holes. So obviously most 3D prints are hollow, or some 3D prints are hollow. I think, looking at the size of this hole, there you go, that's the same size as my standard drill bit that I use for pinning. There you go, so that pretty much goes straight in. Which, ideally, see, just a small poke, that goes straight in. So, using this brass paper clip should go straight in those holes. Look at that. Now, following the same theory, the walls of this should also be hollow. So all I really have to do is get the door in place, get the right door. So that's the outside main door. because this is round topped. Get this in place, drill down through this wall which should be hollow. Then I'm going to just put a metal pin in, glue it at the top, and that will then mean the door will sit nicely. So if we look at when put this door in place, we can still just see the nub here. So by my count, that wants to be pretty much in line here. So following this mark right in the center point, I think there is where we're going to go. Look, that's gone straight through, no pressure. So yeah, these things are hollow, all these walls. So put this in place, and using my bit of paper clip, holding it in place. There we are. So I haven't glued that in yet, but as a test, it doesn't open inwards because of the step, it opens outwards. That works pretty well. So all I need to do now, I might just plonk some glue there, let it run down and snip it off. Now it makes more sense to put up slightly, take a pair of clippers, no. So I'm trying to think this logically. What I'm going to do is put some glue in this side, put it in, hold this in place, snip it, and then push it in further before the glue dries. Because then it will be recessed in this hole. That's going to be the sensible option. So, put some glue on the door. Need to buy some more glue. There we are. So, you see we've got some glue in there. Put this in, hold this in place. Try and do this so on camera it's quite difficult. Aim this in, so I'm going to come back slightly. Clip it off. And then push this in. And then, so if we can just see in there, brass rod's still sticking. Door still turns, won't actually come out. Perfect. So I need to do the same with the other two doors. In place. So that lines up. Awesome. So take my brass rod. Let's put it in. Sorted. So next, and like I say, they're quite nicely hidden, so next I'm going to have to find some magnets, I think. Now, this kit's designed to have some pegs between the roof section, but that's the only lock-in point. So I'm thinking of a magnet on each of these supports. So we've got 2 on the front door, 2 on the side door, and 2 on the chimney. I think that's going to be the best place to magnetize this, because then the roof itself will simply just plonk on with magnets and hold there. I mean, it's pretty stable as is, but if you're going to do something like this, you might as well do it properly. Yeah. Let's go hunt for magnets.